Since he became First Minister 2 weeks ago, Humza Yousaf has hardly had to go looking for big challenges. Amid the crises engulfing the SNP, there's been no political honeymoon period, and his character and judgment are being seriously tested. But one person who will be supporting him through what's to come is his elder sister, Faiza. She spoke to us last week discussing family life, growing up together and dealing with the abuse directed at her brother.
I think he definitely was a leader amongst friends, his friendship groups. I probably knew he would do well when he puts his heart, when he's passionate about something, puts his heart and soul into it. Did I think he would ever become First Minister? It probably wasn't something that I could conceive.
Tell us, first of all, what was Humza like as a wee boy?
Oh, he was a mischievous monkey. So Humza growing up he was a cheeky chappy. Had a cute wee smile, could melt hearts as a wee toddler, was very affectionate. And then growing up in school years, a prankster.
Or was he naughty? Was he naughty? What kind of pranks did
he
he
was
get
quite
up
a bit of a jokester, fun jokes. He was known as the sort of prankster in the family. He also had a cruel sense of humour as well, actually. Oh. So you could do, it passed, I think I have this memory of us, when I was 17, newly passed my driving. My driving test got insured on Mum's car, and I was so chuffed with myself going on the first little trip to Asda by myself. In my mum's wee Fiat, and off I went. And, when I drove into my mum and dad's driveway, just very carefully trying to park up, that was Humza came jumping out and smacked himself off the bonnet. And I think my sister was in on it as well. And that was me, somewhat freaked out, went inside to call my mum and dad. And he got a telling off for that one. Yeah.
Oh dear. So when he was, just a wee boy, did you ever get a sense that he was going to go on to become, a leader? Was there anything, did you sense that quality about him at all?
I think he definitely was a leader amongst friends, his friendship groups. He certainly seemed to kind of always be kind of the one leading ideas or doing things. Did I think he would ever become First Minister? It probably wasn't something that I could conceive ever growing up. I think I always knew that he would, once he kind of had studied politics and came out of uni, I probably knew he would do well and that he would probably be frontline, because I think Humza, when he puts his heart, when he's passionate about something, puts his heart and soul into it. So I don't think that part came as a surprise.
Well, he became a public figure when he became an MSP in 2011. Mm-hmm. So did he change as a person then, do you think?
I don't feel he did. I feel like he was still for me, my brother, the one that we all have our chores at home. He washes the dishes at my mum's house. I dry and my sister does the table. There's all we still have that same dynamic. So I don't feel within our, within our family unit he changed. He's always made a point of ensuring that he's still a regular, and despite how busy he's got over the years, he always made sure that he came up, spent time with us. So family's always been an integral part for Humza.
He's talked about the abuse that he's faced as a politician. How hard has that been for you and your family to cope with?
I think that's one of the trickier parts, certainly, of Humza being in politics. I know for myself, I've come off Twitter as a result. It's something that it's quite difficult for me to separate out the politician from the brother. So for me, Humza's Humza. He's my little brother, and the two are kind of meshed together then. Whereas, so when I see things online, it's quite hard to separate out that that's not my little brother that they're attacking.
Do you feel protective of him?
Oh, very. Yeah, I'm the big sister. So, I kind of, it's hard to almost sort of restrain myself and appreciate that there's no point. But certainly, I do think that's one of the trickier parts and most difficult parts of having Humza be such a public figure.
And his opponents have widely called him Humza Useless. Mm. How did you feel when he was being called that?
Well, do you know something? I struggled with it. I was recently in a hospital appointment with my mum, and I was walking through, and I kind of heard the sort of porters talking, amongst each other, and one of them went, yeah, you know, useless Yousaf. And I was like, oh, and I was like, oh, so want to kind of say something to that. But I was like, well, they're entitled to their opinion about someone. He's a public figure. People are entitled to their opinion. But interestingly, what happened was I actually spoke to Humza about that, and I was like, oh, you know, and I was feeling it a bit, and I was like, oh, you know, this kind of happened at the hospital. And it was his reaction that actually almost sort of settled me. And he sort of was able to almost laugh it off as like, oh, kind of how unfortunate that, you know, Yousaf goes with useless. And I think there was something about that if he's able to be quite relaxed, you know, and not take it so to heart when, you know, these kind of remarks are made, then it kind of helps me.
How did you all feel when he became First Minister, when you found out on that Monday?
Oh, I think it was an absolute roller coaster of emotions in the lead up to it. And when they announced it, oh, it was immense. Yeah, I mean, there was, my mum was crying. I think I had, for some reason I was crying. You know, I think it was just a lot of emotion.
And Nicola Sturgeon said when she was First Minister, she had no time for a social life. Do you think you'll see much of your brother? Do you think you'll still go into your mum's house? Will he still wash the dishes?
He'll be made to wash the dishes. I mean, it's a difficult one to know. It's an all-consuming job. We may not see as much of each other, you know, potentially because of the role. But that doesn't mean that we won't, you know, be connecting. There's so many different ways to connect. And we may have to work harder, you know, to ensure we do that whilst he's busy. So it may, you know, maybe that the visits are shorter or less frequent, but I think there's ways to ensure that the relationship is kept going.
And do you think he is a role model for the younger generation?
I think most definitely my cousin said it really well, where she was saying that, you know, back in the day when we grew up, we'd be so excited seeing kind of another Asian person on the TV. Wow, somebody brown looking like us on TV. I mean, it was just something we didn't see growing up. I remember being excited for Connie Huck and Blue Peter, you know, and that's what she was saying. And there's something really about that wow, to think that the next generation, like my nieces, are for them, well, a First Minister that's Asian and Muslim, that's just standard. That's the way it is. That is phenomenal. And I think what a message to send that is where we're at. So it's incredible.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on Scotland Tonight. Thank you,
You're most
Faiza.
welcome.